Yeah, I know. I know. Yes, that's right.
We should be recording the session. I think, sir, we should start. We've already got around 20 participants, and now the participants are joining. So we start the proceedings. I'll just display the agenda of the day. Yasir, please display the agenda so that we can brief the audience about the program. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As we already know that today is our third session of Rotary Pakistan and Rotary Pakistan Media Center's initiative, which is public image training sessions. And today we are holding third session. The topic is on people of action. So we welcome all participants, and especially the participants from other districts. Most welcome, George, and Ibrahim is also with us from Zone 1B. Today's program and the agenda will lead in a way that I will request Rotary International Director Mohammed Faiz Kidwai for initial remarks. And then I'll start with the small presentation on people of action. And then we'll give a couple of examples that how to brand the people of action of the Rotary. Then I will request Professor Dr. Shaheena Asif, our DGN from District 3272, for her inspiring story. We have with us Mr. Bilal Anwar, CEO of NDMRF. He will talk on how NDRMF, if I'm correct, and Rotary Pakistan can make difference in climate change, environment, and youth engagement, as well as other areas of mutual interest. Lastly, I will request our Director Mohammed Faiz Kidwai to share his story of people of action. He has an inspiring story, and then he will also briefly touch upon our flagship project, which is Swat Village project. And I think Bilal Saab will in fact be very happy to hear what we are doing in terms of climate change and disaster response. Then we'll be having a Q&A session among the participants. And then I will lastly request PGD Iqbal Qureshi, Chairman, Rotary Pakistan Media Center, to give his closing remarks. So this is basically the agenda of the day. Now I request Faiz Kidwai to start the proceedings, and we can move on to other presentations. Sir, please.
Thank you, Assistant ARPIC, Imran, for your efforts which you are making. First of all, my compliments to you as part of the people of action, and to all friends present here, all are people of action. And I always say that you are people of action, I am people of action, we are people of action. And the reason we say this is because the work which we all are doing, you all are doing, is tremendous. With so many challenges around us, with what's happening in the world, in our respective countries, communities, I mean, it's unbelievable. And yet, Rotarians and our friends of Rotary, they are really moving ahead with their task, taking it as a challenge, as an opportunity. I would like to thank the presence of Dr. Shaheena, our district governor nominee from 3272, Mr. Bilal Anwar, our esteemed guest, and we'll be looking forward for the thoughts he's going to share. And of course, my dear friend, past district governor George Azhar from Lebanon. And what a pleasure it is to see him. It's a real surprise and a treat for me that he is with us here today. And I certainly look forward towards his participation as well. And as I said that, it's a challenging situation. for my friend Bilal, Lebanon, and the Middle East, especially Palestine. And we all pray that this issue is soon resolved and we are able to do something good in those areas in terms of rehabilitation. So with this, I pass on the proceedings to you, Imran, and once again, well done, and thank you to all the participants, especially the speakers. I'm sure we are going to have a very fruitful session today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, whatever we are doing, this is your encouragement and support. So I will come up, I will present a small presentation on public image section, which is a session which is on Rotary People of Action. As we know that, talking about Rotary members as people of action is a way to reflect how we see ourselves and what makes us different, while helping others clearly understand who we are and what Rotary is about. We must develop materials, collaterals to create a personal connection with our audience by emphasizing how we create change in the communities we serve. This is very, very important, that we need to have a personal connection with the people, with the audience, where we develop a relationship of trust, credibility, and confidence. And that is that we must promote whatever we do. This is whatever I'm telling, this is not created new. This is already available at the brand center, but I'm just refreshing your knowledge. So sharing Rotary with new audiences is very important. Although many people recognize Rotary's name, we know that too many prospective members and supporters don't understand who we are or what we do. So this is where we need to create awareness, and we need to create a perception that people should know that who we are and what we do. People of Action messages capture and reflect the essence of who we are and should be incorporated in our communication. It's very important. We have to communicate what we do, because the service which we are doing, if we do it in isolation, then we cannot connect with the people who can come, join hands, and support our causes. It is a way of talking about ourselves so that people outside Rotary better understand what connects us as committed volunteers, who channel our skills and expertise into taking action to solve problems in our communities and around the world, which is Rotary International. The People of Action message provides a simple, consistent answer to question, what is Rotary? And relies us around a single idea, telling and showing the world that we are people of action. We respond, whether it's day or night, to help the communities around us, around the world. Next, please. So tell your story. The story is very important in the text of your ads or social media posts. Tell your people of action story. Keep it short, but informative and inspiring in as few words as possible. Say what you did, what action did you take? Offer statistics or other proofs of difference you made. This is very important. What did you accomplish? How did your club's action change lives? Issue a call of action. Do you want people to donate, participate, or learn more? Make it clear what you want them to do. This is very important. And this is all about your communication, and this is all establishing public image. Next. Next slide. So here are some examples which you can portray in your collaterals. These are examples. I'll tell you do's and don'ts. So choose images that show Rotary participants taking actions by featuring real-life everyday moments, displaying a sense of motion, featuring just few people that viewers can see well, using warm lighting and natural colors, representing the diversity of your club. Next. And in next slide, you will see the don'ts. So here you see that 90% of the clubs focus on taking pictures, presenting themselves. So the use of these examples will basically dilute your efforts. Next. So this is what is basic on portraying people of action. And now I'll show you a video which will help you in creating these collaterals by yourself. Please show the first video.
A People of Action print ad is one way to promote the positive impact your club has in the community. It's easy to create one in the Brand Center. Before you begin, write the text for the ad somewhere that you can save and reference later. From the homepage, click on the People of Action Materials button. Then select Templates. Select the People of Action print ad template. Then select Create. Read more about the template and then click the X. Now it's time to design the ad. First, select the paper size. Next, edit content. Select a People of Action verb. Add text directly into the template or copy and paste the content you wrote before. To add images that show your club in action, select an image source. You can use pre-populated Rotary images, but we recommend you upload your own photos to highlight your club. Make sure you have the rights to the photos you upload, including permission from the people featured. Choose Upload Your Own and crop or resize the image as needed. If you choose Rotary images, double-click on the image you want to use from the list. When you're done, click on PDF to save it to your computer. You can add crop marks if you're working with a print shop. Use your People of Action ad to raise awareness of your club and how you've made an impact in your community. We are Rotary. We are People of Action.
Thank you, Asif. Now just display examples of print ad and a Facebook banner so that everybody must understand that. Well, I'm sorry, this is the basic which we're trying to communicate to our audience. So you will be more inspired when we will hear the stories of Dr. Shaheena and Faiz. So this is a print ad where we visited a medical hospital in KP where they're making limbs for people, those who were basically suffered from landmines and blasts, unfortunately, in the last couple of years. And this is how we did an exercise on 14th of August, where we connected with the communities. So these are, and now one more. Okay. This is another a Facebook banner. This project we did, we've provided 80 families with the water filtration cube by Lifesaver. So this is where we went there and tried to locate the communities. So these are a couple of examples for People of Action. When you do your club activities, create your own collateral and create your own impact. Now I'll show you a video where globally people, Rotarians are working. Okay, and this is another video. You can see. We have another video, the last video.
For over 100 years, Rotary members have taken action when challenges arise. We know what people can do when they come together and put others before themselves.
The team lead said they will continue the campaign to fight against the coronavirus.
Local Rotary clubs deliver food and supplies to people in need.
Strangers become friends, helping hands multiply, and problems turn into solutions. We are Rotary. We are people of action. Learn more at rotary.org/action.
Thank you. This is where I hand over the stage to Professor Dr. Shaheena to tell her story, inspiring story of action. And what we have basically learned is the teamwork, the power of collective effort, which is very important. And Rotary is contributing globally for communities, those who need. So, Dr. Shaheena, please, now you can unmute your mic, and the forum is all yours.
Okay. You all know that I am a gynecologist.
Dr. Saab, आपकी आवाज clear नहीं है. Your voice is not that clear.
Is that?
Ji.
Can you hear me now?
No, your voice is low.
It's better?
Ji,
Or it's not
bilkul,
okay?
it's better.
Okay.
No, it's okay, ma'am.
All right. So as you all know that I am a doctor, I'm a busy gynecologist. I've been working for the last 40 to 50 years. Being an obstetrician and gynecologist has been very, very challenging. During my life, I always say that my life is like a cat. A cat has 9 lives, and I've had like my 9 lives up till now. And because when I was born, I nearly died. Then I had a school van accident, and I nearly died as a child. 2 of the children who were with me died. And then one fine day, my parents discovered that I had a tumor in my head, so I had a surgery, was in coma, and recovered that. And then I got married, and the day I got married, I had an accident, and the car nearly fell into the ditch, and we were all injured. Then I had my 3rd child, and I had a PPH, and I went into shock, and was saved from there. And then, as if that was not enough, Asif and myself were on a holiday, and we were in a plane crash, which crash landed in Bangkok, and we survived that. Then I thought everything was done and over with. And then one fine day, I felt a lump, and I found that I have a tumor. So went back and got it done, and I survived that. And then one fine day, I was asked and I learned nothing from all my problems. And one fine day, one of my neighbors in Surgimed Hospital, he comes and he says, "We need a guest speaker. Will you come to the Rotary Club to talk?" I said, what does the Rotary, what's Rotary? He said, it's a group of sort of old people, and we get together and we have fellowship, and we talk about different. I said, "What do you want to learn from a gynecologist?" He said, "Okay, talk about anything." So I went there, and obviously I talked about the girl child. But then I found a very, very nice president there. She was very friendly. She had interest in English literature, which was my passion too. And just because I liked the president, I became a Rotarian. They invited me to become a Rotarian. So that's my story of coming as an accident into Rotary. But then as soon as I joined Rotary, they said we have to do free clinics and things like that. So we went to Nankana Sahib, and we went for a clinic, and I thought we will just see about 20, 30 patients and come back, and it will be like a picnic. But when we went there, we found that there were like 200 and something women waiting for a gynecologist who was coming from Lahore. So I had taken my scan machine, and I had everything, and I was working from 10 o'clock there, and the patients wouldn't finish. They would keep coming, and by the end, till about 7:30, I had seen about 250 patients, and I was really, really tired. Although all the other people were also helping, but they were not doctors, so I had the main work to do. And on my way back, I had to stop somewhere to see a house in which my friend had given a party, and I just wanted to thank her and just go back home. And then there I had a fall in their house, and I fell from quite a height, which was like 9 feet, because it was a house which was being built and the stairs didn't have a railing, and I fell down. And, all the doctors were there because it was a doctor's party. And I fell from 9 feet, and I went on the floor. And then I was bleeding like anything. And then, as being a doctor, I knew that, I was dying or something like that, because the blood was so much. And I had a head injury. I had broken 6 bones, and my shoulder was fractured in about 9 places, and the other shoulder in 2 places. And I had broken my jaw, and my nose was bleeding. So I thought, oh God, I'm dying. But at that moment, on that day, I didn't think of anything else. One voice kept coming back into my mind, and that voice was a woman I had met in Nankana Sahib, whom I had seen for infertility. And she said to me, you've given me a prescription now, but what if I don't get pregnant? How will I see you again? I said, I will come back and see you. And that was a promise I made to her. And the only thing I remembered was I said to God, and I talked to God in English. I said, I hope God knows English, because I didn't know any Arabic at that time, in my state of shock. And I said to God, I said, God, I don't want to die. I made a promise this morning. I have to go back to this woman and I have to see her. And sort of God said, okay, inshallah, you'll be fine. And I was brought to hospital, and I survived that. I was 21 days in the hospital. Once I came out of the hospital, not only I had broken all these bones, I had, because of my jaw and head injury, I had thrown a clot, and there were so many problems. And then I realized that I am not that young anymore. I am an old person, and people look after you for some time, and then you get left on your own to recover. And I said, I have so much resources, and still I am having this problem. I have to go for physiotherapy every single day. And I pay the physiotherapist, although, if I don't want to pay, I wouldn't, but I had to, as a courtesy, I would pay him. And I said, how do the people manage who are poor people? How do they manage this? And I see old people breaking their bones every single day. So I said to my husband, I have to do something about these old people who break their bones. And he said, why don't we make a free clinic for old people? So I said, I'm a gynecologist. I don't know anything about that. So I consulted the physiotherapist who was seeing me. And then we started a daycare center for old people in the congested area of Sadar. And that was a free clinic for people over 60 to do their physiotherapy free every day. And I thought, people will 2 or 3 people will come every day. And we started having 20 and then 30 and then 40 patients every single day. And then I realized these people also have other problems like hypertension and diabetes. So I engaged some nurses to look after that problem also. And then they are lonely. So we made a sitting room for these people. So I had all the resources. I had everything before I became a Rotarian. But when I became a Rotarian, my thought process totally changed. And with the collective effort of the people around me who were Rotarians for like many years, I realized that this service above self is something different. It is not charity. It's what we are doing is a service project, and this must go on even when I'm not there. So I made it my club project, and my club is looking after that project as well. They don't really need looking after, because in that process people start dropping things in the boxes, and they help you out. So when you decide to have uh, uh, and just imagine, I'm a busy gynecologist, one of the leading leading hospitals of Lahore. So people had to wait for me to see me, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes half an hour, even when they had appointments. And here I was spending more than so many hours with people who really are not affording. They are not rich people, they are poor people, they need my time, they need my effort. And along with me came along the whole club, a member of 25 to 22 people every week gathering there, looking after people. So my story is that I have had 8 serious accidents, and this is my 9th life. This is my last life. So every single day, I think, yes, what is the good I can do today? What is the good thing that I will do today? And I am trying to make my 24 hours every day into 25 or 26 hours. I do my work, I do my Rotary thing, I do, now they made me a polio chair, so I go around doing the polio. It was Sunday today. I went for a walk. They
And we've lost your voice.
under different trees, looking at people and talking to them and inspiring them and giving them awareness. So this is what Rotary does to you, and I hope it does the same to all of you, and it inspires you to take action.
Ma'am, thank you very much. And you finished spot 30 seconds before. One thing I would like to tell, this is my personal comment. May Almighty Allah gives you a million lives. So in every life, you do service for the communities, and your story is indeed an inspiring. And I don't know, many know about your story, but I think now at this forum, the whole Rotary knows your story. And indeed, it's a very, very inspiring story. Thank you very much for joining us. And we wish you all the success in your tenure, and we're sure that you will make a difference. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Mr. Bilal Anwar. Mr. Bilal Anwar is the CEO of National Disaster Risk Management Fund. This organization is registered under Section 42 of Companies Act. NDRMF was established to provide funding to government and non-government entities in undertaking risk reduction activities against natural calamities and climate-induced risks to make Pakistan resilient against disasters. As you've seen in the last couple of years, we had devastating floods from north to south. His core areas of technical expertise are climate action, climate finance, disaster risk management, in which he has worked extensively on designing operationalization of climate investment and disaster management funds for Pakistan as well as internationally. Mr. Anwar is an internationally acclaimed climate action and disaster risk management professional, and he's very enthusiastic, a brilliant human being, and I'm sure that Rotary Pakistan and Mr. Bilal Anwar and his organization will go a long way. Bilal Sahab, forum is all open for you.
Well, many thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you, Imran Sahab, and thank you to Kidwai Sahab as well, and all the esteemed Rotary members. I really cannot express myself how truly honored and immensely pleased I am to be part of this group. And thank you for this very generous introduction, Imran Sahab as well. Well, to be very honest, I always thought that I had kind of an eventful life, but after hearing the story of Dr. Shaheena, he really, I kind of feel it's kind of eclipsed and it's slightly faded. But I think that's the true message is the inspiration is to keep on taking action, is to keep the positive spirit alive, and then move on those bigger agendas, working on the challenges and the difficulties and the issues which actually matters to the society. So thank you very much for this invitation, and yeah, I'm really pleased, and I really hope I be able to share some experiences as well as highlight some of the work which National Disaster Risk Management Fund is doing, and I already can see that how bodies, the two institutions can align with each other, can synergize their efforts, and kind of build up the partnership which we wish to take forward. So before that, I would just like to mention Rotary is not a new to me, and I've been seeing the sign and the logo and the image of Rotary so many places in the world. And I extensively traveled around the world during my professional career, and I've seen Rotary gatherings and their kind of action work in many places in Europe, in North America, in Africa, and I happen to be kind of joining and sitting in some of the Rotarian meetings and interactions in some parts of Africa, particularly Mauritius, where I was actually based before coming to Pakistan for taking up this assignment. So I'm really aware of it, and I don't really recall exactly when this I first come across, but must have been many years ago. And when I saw the logo, and then actually I went and I tried to kind of look out to the history. And I was truly inspired to see the work of Rotary. So wonderful work you people are doing, and I'm really pleased to be here. So as Imran Sahab just mentioned, on a professional or personal kind of a level, I kind of consider myself a climate policy practitioner. It's kind of hard to define sometime what I've been doing for the last 25 years, but this is what I've been doing actually. First, to develop the international climate policy in the UN systems and some of the international organizations, and then actually moving to the field and many places around the world where actually I've taken that policy and have designed and implemented the programs and the projects and working with the communities, working with the people, and seeing the kind of challenges they are facing because of the climate change, because of different disasters, and then coming back to the international forums and try to kind of complete the feedback loop and refine the policy frameworks and the policy development work and try to bring it close to the reality. I'm not sure many people like myself have been extremely successful in that, but this is quite it's a long battle which is still actually going on, and we are very much actually committed, and we are intensifying our efforts in doing so. So this is what I'm a climate change person, and I'm a disaster risk reduction person. This is what I do, and God gave me the opportunity to actually undertake the work in many places of the world. So I have seen communities, I've seen people from different cultures, and that's one of the landmarks. This is one of the tradition, the diversity in the work, the diversity of the people, which is the landmark, which is the kind of iconic image and the reputation and tradition of Rotary as well. So thank you very much. Thank you for bringing me to your club, and I'm really happy and pleased to be part of the club. Now, National Disaster Risk Management Fund. This is, as I already mentioned, it's a fund established by the federal government, and it's, in a way, the function and the mandate is pretty simple, which basically is to reduce the risks for disasters for Pakistan. But it's a daunting challenge. It's a gigantic kind of a goal which has been established, which has been endowed to this fund. So we are a fund, we are a financial intermediary. So our job is to mobilize the funding and the financing from international donors as well as from different kind of innovative sources. And then we work with the people, with the communities, with the international national organizations, NGOs, as well as the government departments, and we come up with the viable projects, and we finance those projects. And this is our job, what we do. So in doing this job, actually, we look into a whole range of issues. So disaster, as you know, that is a very diverse kind of a topic, and this is very evolving size. So it's not only the floods, it's not only the earthquake, or it's not only the heat waves. It's a whole range of issues. So drought, for example, is one aspect of it, which is very complex phenomena. And we have seen this happening actually in Pakistan, in southern Punjab as well, Sindh and some district of Balochistan. But I've seen the worst forms of it actually in some parts of Africa, where we do come across the images that international media, and which of course actually touch our hearts and trigger our sentiments. And sometimes actually it is hard to believe that these kind of situations can arise and can actually happen in Pakistan as well. But what we are gathering in NDMRF and in collaboration with some of our international partners, we see that Pakistan, when it comes to the climatic changes, it is really at the brink of it. It is at the crossroads where it really have to come up with a long-term action, and that action need to reduce the long-term and sustained risks with which the society is facing at large. But some of the communities and some of the regions and the districts, in particular in Pakistan, they are really at the forefront. And we actually have to identify those areas, and we have to work, and we have to focus our efforts on those regions and those areas as well. And this is what NDMRF is doing. Just to give you a slightly idea, actually, I don't want to kind of throw too much of the technical jargon, and which sometimes we professionals actually have the habit of doing that. But I think it's also kind of an opportunity to share some of the information and some of the findings from different international as well as the localized reports, which actually presents somewhat actually close to a realistic picture as well. So, for example, if you look into the kind of purely from atmospheric conditions or a topographical point of view, then Pakistan is at a kind of a challenging situation, because we happen to be located in an area which is a kind of a junction of it. They say it in Urdu, sangam hai, jahan pe the two big monsoon systems actually collide, or they strike with each other, and which on one hand is the lifeline of Pakistan, because we do actually receive quite a lot of our water resources because of that. And over the many years, actually hundreds of years, our livelihood, our cropping patterns, our water management systems, and many of the cultural values and the social values have evolved because of this very peculiar the weather patterns which have evolved in this particular region. On the other hand, we happen to be having quite a big kind of inventory of glaciers up in the northern part of Pakistan as well. I'm sure that you know it, that after North Poles, Pakistan have the largest number of glaciers as well, and which are the biggest source of our water resources as well. The Sindh, the Indus River, the mighty Indus, which is called, it is actually the lifeline of Pakistan's agriculture as well as the livelihood of Pakistan. And the both systems are at threat because of the climatic changes which are happening, and not because of us, but because of the hundreds of years of the industrialization process that actually have destabilized it, and it has disturbed it so badly that this is literally out of our own control. So this is the kind of a scale and the gravity of the challenge which NDMRF is dealing with. And sometimes it is actually frightening for us that the challenge itself is so huge, is so gigantic, that we really kind of find ourselves really kind of at loss where to start and what to do, and for the meager resources which we have, can we really do anything meaningful, anything impactful? But at the same time, what we are trying to do is we're trying to kind of be very realistic, be very reasonable, and be very scientifically driven as well, because that actually gives us the kind of a knowledge and try to prioritize our actions and our interventions into those areas which are particularly vulnerable, which are particularly at risk. So in that context, we actually focus our efforts in Balochistan, in Sindh, especially the rural Sindh, Gilgit-Baltistan, as well as AJK, and similarly some parts of Punjab which are also particularly at risk. So and we do all kind of interventions, the projects and the programs, and we work very closely through our partners with the community. So we do come up with the for example, very hardcore flood protection measures in Gilgit-Baltistan, where actually we do the check dams, the small check dams, which actually preserve the water for a certain time period, and that actually serve the number of benefits. Similarly, with that, those structure actually control and regulate the water flow, so it doesn't really flow into the communities, into the villages, and into the urban areas as well. And we do the early warning system. We've done quite a number of early warning systems, which basically, because we know that if a large volume and magnitude of water is flowing, then of course any kind of a check dams or small dams or water conservation measurement systems, they can't actually control them. So we do establish the early warning systems, and that basically alert and warn the local communities, and they can actually protect themselves. And similarly, we work a number of other soft kind of measures as well. We work with the communities and we try to train them with the training, the first aid training, as well as the flood protection or the disaster protection, rescue services, a number of other areas as well. So so quite a diverse range of work which we are doing. And similarly, we've done some work in the pandemic for COVID-19, and we actually mobilized quite a large chunk of money at that time, and we gave it to the government, which actually allowed the government to import the first set of PPEs, which actually arrived from China, and that funding actually came from National Disaster Risk Management Fund. That was $50 million. In the last flood, we again gave to the government $150 million, which basically was provided for the relief and recovery, the immediate relief and recovery work for the communities. So I think this is just a kind of in a very kind of a brief and a nutshell, provide kind of an overview of the kind of work which NDRMF is doing. I think what is more kind of interesting to know is what we are planning to do in terms of moving ahead, and what is the future kind of vision which we are having. Given that the nature of the challenge and the scale and the gravity of the challenge is evolving and is growing, so we actually right now we are passing through a kind of a transformation process of NDRMF, and which is basically giving us an opportunity that how we can align, how we can position and equip the institution perfectly or close to the perfectly for the scale of the challenge which we are facing. For that, we need to make the institution itself a lot more knowledge-oriented, data-driven, scientifically enhanced. At the same time, institutionally a lot more strengthened, and then mobilize a lot more funding from international donors, local donors, as well as the corporate sector, and then come up with a number of innovative kind of measures, especially for innovative financing mechanism. So I think this is right now in the last few months which NDRMF is passing through. So some of those who are kind of active on the LinkedIn space or other social media channels, you might have actually seen that we are actually passing through a very massive and robust kind of an outreach campaign. And in that context, we are reaching out to the corporate sector, private sector, as well as international donors, and a number of other institutions that we are entering ourselves in a large scale kind of partnerships where we want to allow ourselves and strengthen ourselves going ahead and setting up and kind of benefiting from the strength and the assets, network assets of these different institutions. So this is a goal which we are in terms of the implementation, operationalization, and more kind of a groundwork activities where we have prioritized and strategized ourselves. In terms of how to mobilize a lot more funding, I mean, we have done our own assessments and we have done some studies. Pakistan needs about $1.25 trillion from 2023 to 2030 just to undertake its adaptation, climate adaptation. Now, this is a huge amount of no government in the world, no private sector can actually provide that kind of funding. So for that, we are coming up with some kind of an innovative actions and innovative measures where we are actually coming up with the financial blending, with the leveraging of one type of financing instruments and leveraging with some other types of financial instruments. And then that's how we are trying to kind of enhance our reach and the kind of a financial efficiency of our services which we are providing to our clients and to our different stakeholders. Now, and then we are working on a huge database, setting up a very first database for the country, which is going to be providing the risk modeling. And that again is going to be happening first time in the country, and the kind of service which we're going to be providing to a number of stakeholders, a number of institutions who are in the project design and the project intervention work. So this is something which we are few of the measures which we are undertaking right now. I think how I just want to kind of emphasize a little bit, how the two institutions actually can work together. Given our own expertise, our own specialties, some kind of a weightage which we carry as a federal government entity, but we have limitations, and we have loads of limitations, especially when it comes to the outreach, especially when it comes to implementation. As a fund, we cannot reach out and we cannot actually go and start working with the communities ourselves, and that's where institutions like Rotary and a number of other international and national NGOs, they really become kind of our feet, our eyes on the ground. And this is what we want to do. I was very much pleased to see Imran Sahab when we sit together, and we actually exchanged some of the views, and I was pleased to know that in your agenda and your action plan, environment, climate change, and all those issues, they are very much deeply embedded, and they are your priority action areas as well, and which actually provided me as a kind of a lot of a confidence as well, which I believe that which can be extremely beneficial for us. Now, the other area where I really want, I would like to highlight, would like to flash it out very clearly is, I think there's a fundamental and quite an acute kind of a lack of awareness about these issues. Climate change, disaster risk reduction. Now, this is everyone's business. Very frankly, I understood the impacts of climate change, not by working in the UN systems in Bonn, Germany, or Geneva, or Vienna, or New York, but I actually understood it from talking with farmers here in Balochistan, or in Africa, or in Latin America. When you talk with those people, they will really bring out their knowledge from hundreds of years of knowledge, and they basically say that how the weather patterns are changing, and how the crops are really lining up, or they are not really adapting to the abrupt changings of the weathers. Similarly, when you talk with the communities, actually they have their own set of stories, and they have their own kind of challenges which they are very open to share, and they see that how the life and how their livelihoods have been impacted because of these changes. So it is everyone's business. So I think this is Rotary can be a hugely beneficial and supportive in kind of spreading the message out. People have done this for decades, and you have a very rich history of doing that. And I think this is where we really need to join hands together and reach out. So the third is, the last point I want to make is kind of bringing out and taking our message, NDMRF message, the different segment of the society. And I know diversity of people is the landmark of Rotary. And we want to reach out to those people who want to reach out, and we want to actually spread that message. We want them to kind of talk about NDMRF, talk about these real challenges, and then come up with the issues. And in return, I think we are in a common goal and a common mission together, that the society become a lot more informed, and at the same time we are able to come out with joint projects and implement them at a community level. I'll stop here, and once again I thank you very much, Imran Sahab, for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
So thank you very much, Bilal Sahab, for being here. And I am sure that after the presentation and talk of Faiz Kidwai Sahab, we as a Rotary Pakistan and NDMRF will go a long way. Thank you very much once again. Now I request our Director, Rotary International, Mohammed Faiz Kidwai Sahab. Sir, the stage is all yours. And if you want, we can display. Yasir Abhi ruk jao. Sir, if you want, you start your talk, and then we can display the presentation you shared with me. So whenever you say, I'll display it. So,
that's right. That's right.
It is all yours.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you, ARPIC, Nansab. Again, how much time do I have?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay, good. So just remind me a couple of minutes for that.
Sure. Right.
Okay. Now, thanks again for providing this opportunity. Excellent talks. We have the 2 talks today. And apart from that, what I would like, again, before moving ahead, I would like to recognize the presence and acknowledge the presence of our district of Iqbal Qureshi Saab, because the efforts which he has been making with regard to Rotary Pakistan Media Center, and which Imran, you and our friend Kashif has now been there, also helping him out, is tremendous. I mean, you have joined them now, but he's taken this this journey, this challenge, this opportunity on his own shoulder, and my hats off to him. And this is what the people of action is all about. Well, talking of Bilal Anwar Saab, well, I think you have all. I mean, most of the language, Bilal Saab, you spoke is Rotary language, so which shows that you are not just a Rotarian, but mashallah, you are well versed with how what does people of action mean, and you are one of them. Like you talked about enhancing our reach. I mean, that is precisely the terminology which we Rotarians use a lot, enhancing our reach and engaging the communities, engaging people around. So I'm so happy to have been known to you. Now moving on, friends, about people of action, I think a lot of definition has been given. Well, Rotary members, they share a unique passion for taking action to improve their communities and the world. And one of the focus factor is that it's selfless service. So to me, it is not just Rotarian. It is any individual who is part of that selfless service in his journey in this world is part of the people of action group. And because it helps creating a lasting change. It helps changing the life of an individual, the life of communities at large. My definition to people of action is simple, friends. That any person who anticipates a challenge which is or may be disturbing for his fellow human being, and he or she intervenes as one of his or her responsibility, is part of the people of action. That, I mean, we do it because we feel that's our responsibility. Each one of us, and it's something past time, and that's no. On a Sunday, taking out time and precious time at this moment means that we mean business. We want to do something good for our fellow human beings. And that's why you're here, to share the experiences, to learn from each other, and then to take actions accordingly. And friends, one of the finest examples, we all know, but I think we need to talk more about that. One of the finest example is, and I think will remain for all times to come, and that is the initiative taken with regard to polio. I mean, amazing, unbelievable things have happened. Often we don't even realize, many of us, even the Rotarians, have not even realized that what has been done in it. You just tell me any one program, whether it is health related, education related, or any, which has attracted and has involvement of so many millions of individuals around the world consistently since last so many years. At least formally, it's been done from 1985 onwards. That means almost 38 years consistently, the people of action are focused on just one point, that we want to eradicate polio from the face of this earth. So,
please apna mic off kar. Everybody, please put your mic off. Sir, please go ahead.
So you see, this is the definition of people of action. 20 million children can walk today, which had we not initiated this program in 1985 or 88, would have been doing so. And I still remember young children and adults at the traffic signals and markets and all, crippling on their feet because of polio. Today we are not seeing them. Around 1.5 million lives have been saved. Lives of children because of polio vaccination. And at times when I think about it, but what if among these children, there might be my own child, my own children. They have also gone through this whole vaccination process. So had they not been vaccinated, maybe today they would have been suffering or would have suffered with polio. So it's a miracle. It is nothing less than a miracle, my friends, that what Rotary has done. And we need to probably not just own it, but we need to respond to it as well. Of the tremendous contributions made by many of our friends who may not be here in this world today. Tomorrow when we leave, we will also be leaving behind, we also will have to leave behind some legacies in the same manner. And there is no true opinion of the fact that once it is done, and inshallah soon I can see it happening, that is going to be the day of celebrations in the history. And I don't think any other day like this can come. Now, coming back to the examples, scholars examples, you asked about my experience and all. Before moving that, let us share a few examples of, Bilal Sahib has already shared his example. There's so many people in Pakistan alone. Aren't they doing some great work? You can name them. Abdul Sattar Idi was certainly one of them. The present examples are Dr. Amjad from the Akhwat Foundation, Salani Foundation. In fact, I was just there at one of the programs of Salani Foundation. They were celebrating. They have come up with a program. Now, see, this is what we need to understand. That when you can have a vision, when you have a vision which each one of us are capable to have. Without vision, we cannot move ahead. We need to have vision. Here is a man who gave a vision a few years back. He said, I would like to train 10 million software programmers from amongst the youth of Pakistan. 10 million. And everybody said he's joking. He started it. And yesterday I attended that program. And this gentleman is Maulana Bashir Farooqi, the founder of Salani. Imran Saab, the quality of students whom I met them, and that is free of cost. They are providing free of cost service. And you know what his target is? Not to just put in market 10 million youth trained in software, but his target is, I would like Pakistan to export technology related business worth $100 billion. That is his target. And during his speech, he narrated that yesterday, that how he's going to achieve that, how Salani will help Pakistan achieving that. That is the imagination we need to come up with. That is the dream we all have to come up with. And if you can dream, if you can think big, dream big, I mean, these are the examples in front of us. Why can't we do it? If Maulana Bashir Farooqi Saab can do it, if Dr. Amjad Saab can do it, why can't we? So there's countless examples. The only problem with us, and I've seen this to many of our Rotarians as well, and I will humbly request them, don't get choked. Don't get choked. You are talented. You have tremendous amount of energy with you. You have the backing of 1.4 million Rotary members from around 36,000 plus Rotary clubs around the world. That is your strength. So what are you worried about? You are worried about sharing an idea so that other person can do it, let him do it. You're worried that from where would the funds come? That's not your problem. You're worried where would the resources come? That's not your problem. The only thing, and there is where your role as people lack of action comes, is take the action. Move forward. World is facing tremendous challenges, tremendous problems. But I believe, and I'm sure all of you, we, the Rotarians, we believe that whenever we see a challenge, we don't run away from it. We grab those challenges and bring it towards us. So that, because in those challenges, we find opportunities. And that is, scores of examples can be given. I've already talked about polio, about Salani and other organizations. Similarly, Rotary. There's so many programs. I mean, if you ask me that I start, sharing the projects and the programs I've done, alhamdulillah. And again, it's not me. It is Rotary. Rotary has done it. I luckily was one of those who got the opportunity and took it ahead. But one thing which made the difference, or I would say through which I got the breakthrough, was when I became the president of my club and started planning. And that is around, that is year 1999, 2000. But, the presidents are elected 2 years in advance so that they can start planning. So I was just thinking what to do. First idea which came in my mind was that I, live in defense. Most of the Rotarians, they live in defense, Clifton, these areas in Karachi. They don't think beyond the boundaries of this region, at least at that time. We used to think, okay, which are the Kachiabadis near defense, near Clifton, which are the government schools, hospitals where you can visit. It's easier to go them and contribute. Yes, that's good. That's good. But again, with the strength we have in us, with the opportunities we have in front of us, why don't we go beyond these boundaries? Why don't we reach out those people who needs us more than perhaps to whom we are reaching? And all of that, our energy and our reach due to Rotary is limitless. we can reach as many communities, as many individuals. So we decided, the club, then I shared it with the club, and the club decided to go into Malir area. Malir at that time was a no-go area in Karachi. I'm sure you all know that. But we were not bogged down with that challenge. We said, no, people need that. We went there, we established Rotary Community Corps. They became the arm of our club. And we have done wonders in that area. I mean, not me, but the club has done wonders in that area. So this is what need to be done. With the opportunities we have, think out of box. Now, since time has come, so let us, time is very, 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 restricted. So let's come to the presentation straight away. I'll just share a few slides, then we can start the discussion. So can I see the slides, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, please. Jesus, slides are on.
Yeah. So after these floods, and as very, very rightly shared by friend Bilal Anwar Saab, that still not people doesn't really realize what's happening around us. So when the floods came, again, one of the general trend of every concerned citizen, human being, is that whenever these challenges come, these disasters come, we immediately start working for the relief stages, then go for the rehabilitation and all. My belief had always been, and this is one of those examples which we have practiced in the past as well, that whenever such disasters come, as far as Rotary is concerned, Rotarians is concerned, they should immediately start planning not for the relief, for the rehabilitation and rebuild stages. And there is where actually our role is required more than that at the relief stages. Yes, it is needed at relief stage, but why can't we immediately take action and get into the rehabilitation stages? So when this disaster came, and it was very, very evident that it is not simple floods. We all knew what has happened. And as the UN Secretary General very correctly said, I have never seen climate carnage on the scale of the floods here in Pakistan. So immediate idea came in, what should we be doing? And myself being an architect, I started thinking, well, yes, frankly speaking, before that, I had the idea, but I was not seriously focused towards environmental sustainability, climate change, sustainable development goals, net zero targets and all. But this opened up my eyes. And then I started thinking, oh, well, friends, what should be done? So we all know, I'm not going to details about the disasters, how many people affected, mega economic crisis and all. The next slide, please. But immediately the idea came in, what can be done? Bilal Saab suggested,
next slide.
When discussed about this environment and climate sustainability and all, the world today is discussing that our target with regard to net zero 2030 should be that we should be focusing on the urban centers and urbanization challenges, meaning talking of mobility, talking of technology and all. But I would like to differ here. And I would support what Bilal Saab has said. And that is, friends, we have to reach back to our villages, to our indigenous cultures, indigenous skills, indigenous technologies. And for that, the first thing we have to think about is, I'm not saying we do it now, we have to think about is that start thinking about de-urbanization. Urbanization is not the solution, de-urbanization. Now, how can we do de-urbanization, especially in the mega cities, that we start developing our villages, we start developing the smaller towns. So that is the vision which came in mind, that to develop sustainable indigenous living through innovation and technology. And the mission is to transform the communities by building smart villages in flood-affected areas and beyond. Flood-affected is just a step to move forward. We have to then take this thing beyond that. Then we'll be targeting net zero footprint. We'll be targeting growing economy, supporting health education, renewable and alternate energy, water sanitation, encourage agro-based organic interventions, participatory mechanism of ownership pride, women-centered methodologies for spearheading transformation, and so on. And this, if we are able to implement in our villages, I can tell you the problem would be automatically resolved. But obviously, it's easy to say. And there is where we need partnerships. We need partnerships with the government also. Maybe the government may not be able to follow it totally in letter and spirit, but we can certainly guide them to guide other organizations, partner organizations, corporates, and so on, international development organizations, to join us in this mission. And our target is 20 villages. We have only, and 20 villages is to target these 20 villages and implement our plan by 30th June 2024. These 20 villages should be leveled, should be achieved. 2 villages we have already completed in Sindh, and they belong to the Hindu community, Hindu religion communities. And the reason why we did was to create an impression of Pakistan abroad, globally as well, because I've been making presentation abroad. The first thing which comes in their mind was that Pakistan is a totally Islamic country, religious country. They don't have any values for other religions. So this is what was the message which we gave them, and it's been well appreciated. So these are the models we have already prepared. Next, please. Next slide.
Thank you, Asif.
So
these
are in totality what we plan to include. The housing units, again, all these. Our first target would be if you're talking of housing, what are the local materials available? What innovations can we bring in? What technological interventions can we bring into it? And then developing grooming these individuals, males, female, organizing vocational trainings, places of their workshops, alternate energy, water, all these technology related things will be into it. Next, let's. I think we have time, very, very limited time, so I'll just quickly move. Next slide.
Yes, the next slide. So we should move on. Next slide. Yes, sir. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide.
So, yeah. So, as I said, we would be focusing on the local materials. Like in construction, we're focusing on lime, on mud, on bamboos. We will be taking flood mitigation actions also, where we'll be using plants which can be reused as well. Alternate energy, like you can see in this, that we'll be having constructed wetlands, aquifers, boundaries, and while planting the trees, we can go for bamboo plants. Why can't we grow bamboo plants here in Sindh? I mean, in Punjab, in some areas, they have already started growing, but in Sindh also. So in all these areas, now these 20 villages would be in all the 5 provinces of Pakistan. We have started 2 from Sindh, and now we have started another in Punjab, and so on. Right now, there are 7 villages which are under construction. Sustainable energy, water source, like already discussed by Barzab, that check dams. Why not? Why can't we have check dams? Why can't we have these alternate solutions which have been there in the past? We just have to revitalize them. The most important component are the social infrastructure, friends, and that is, the community center. By community center, you mean training and grooming the men and women, especially the women and the youth, and providing school and healthcare centers. Again, in most of these things, when we talk of school, we'll be using the technology as far as possible. e-learning center. For medical, we'll be going for telemedicine services, because in these villages, it's not possible for good teachers, for good doctors to reach. Next, please.
Next. We're growing local economies.
Now, the backbone of this entire program, and where we are saying we can focus towards for de-urbanization, would be that we focus on local economies, how to grow them. There is no true opinion of the fact that each and every individual, even in these villages, he and she, they are highly talented. They have skills. They have the opportunities there. We need to connect them. We just need to connect them. And for that, again, we have developed a very, very smart program of involving the women, engaging them, training them, grooming them in all the areas, whether it is related to their skills in handicrafts and in stitching and all, or it is cattle farming, or it is drip irrigation system. Why can't we value add these things? Why can't in cattle farming you just have to take out the milk? Why can't and sell it to one of the manufacturers, milk processors, leading professors? Why can't they do it themselves? Why can't they come up with byproducts of in cattle area? Why can't drip irrigation be introduced, and why can't we guide them better in terms of what to grow and how to grow? So these are the things, again, which we have already initiated and started, especially in these 2 villages that they have been initiated. Next slide, please. And not to remind.
Got 5 minutes. So you've got more.
Fine, 5 minutes. I'll just take 2 minutes. Yeah. Now, one thing which I would like to remind my friends, that 66% women in Pakistan are working, especially in the villages. 66%. So that perception is again not true, that women in our culture are not allowed to work. In these villages, 66% are already working there. So these are just the how the process is made. Rotarians, they travel these villages regularly, and they have been supported by locals and all. These are the things which we have already gone through in the 2 villages already completed, and we have moved into the next stage as well. Next slide. Next slide.
Next slide, yes.
I mean, this is how the process is carried out. We have community meetings in which we decide. It is all community-led. And we provide them material, but the entire labor is provided by them. But along with material, we send them to training with some trainers who are specialized trainers in that region as well. We send to them, or the trainer comes to these villages, they train them. And then they start the whole thing their own selves, and they come up. Now, these 2 villages, can you imagine that these 2 villages have been completed in just 6 months' time? And 6 months is, I'm sharing an elongated period of time. In 6 months, they were able to complete with their own labor, with their own hands, with their own skills. Next, please.
Next.
We have been inviting number of friends from abroad, international leaders and all, and that is a source of motivation, not just for us, but for these villagers as well. And first batch was, as you know, handed over in May by Pat Merriweather, the Rotary International Vice President. This is the slide of Independence Day, and you can see the celebrations. You can't imagine the happiness which we could see on their faces, friends. Can't imagine. Last slide you can show.
Last slide, right? Next. Next, Ari. Next.
Next. Last project. These are different other villages. We have a real-time project monitoring and evaluation dashboard. Like anybody who's contributing should see where his funds are going. Can you reduce it? Because I think it's.
I think there's some problem with Zoom.
Okay, fine. I'll just explain what it is. You know, about I think it was October, first week of October, when we went and visited these villages. And after that, I was traveling to USA for the board meeting. And a week before that, a week or 2 weeks before that, they had severe floods again in that area. So when we went there, believe me, they were not just happy. I mean, each and every individual, they were just saying that, sir, we cannot explain in words how happy we are. We are so grateful, not just we, our generations to come would always be grateful and obliged to Rotary for giving us what we are having today. We could not have ever dreamt about it. And one thing which they said was that in the floods, we are not just safe, but we, first time in life, we were able to give protection to those disturbed families in other villages where the floods have destroyed their homes. We provided them protection, and we hosted the displaced families. Isn't it wonderful? And it's all because of you all, because of our friends, Rotarians, friends around the world. So this is this is why you all are called people of action. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. So by your talk, one thing which we understand is seeing a dream is important. Believing in your dream is crucial, and then trust yourself. I think we can be a resilient group of people, those who can really make a difference. Thank you very much, sir. And now I would like to request anybody who wants to ask a question, please raise your hand in the icon, and then we'll give you opportunity, because we have already crossed a limit of time. So we have got about 5 minutes for questions. If anybody wants to ask the question, please raise your hand or through the icon, and then I'll give you a chance to ask a question. So anybody wants to ask a question? Bilal sir, please go ahead.
Well, this is not a question, frankly. This is just kind of just to share my thoughts and what I just gone through, especially the work, the remarkable work actually you're doing in Sindh and the remote areas of Sindh, which are vulnerable, where this work is needed. So,
and we have also started in Punjab as well, Blossom.
No, that's absolutely wonderful, and yes, I think this is something I didn't know, Kidwai Sahab, that you come from architecture background, and I think this is something which is you understand much better than myself and maybe many others as well. I mean, what happened in Pakistan, and I have certain advantages. I lived my life, quite a substantial part of my life actually, abroad, and came back to Pakistan, and then seeing the kind of what happened on the name of the so-called development, where the development has been kind of become a synonymous to very brick and mortar type of concrete and style of construction for infrastructure development and you name it. And in a way, it is actually a lot of destruction which has happened. And we have seen our cities actually just kind of growing out of the control, and the civic services have really been collapsed, and number of challenges. I can really go on and on. So this is exactly what we want to experiment as well, as an institution as well. This is the kind of initiative we want to support, and we want to kind of create a kind of a very fine balance between big projects, which are of course needed, large dam, big multi-dimensional, multi-thematic, multi-disciplinary kind of a projects, which kind of run into hundreds of millions of dollars. But at the same time, the projects which and interventions which are very focused, which are very community-based and community-driven, and based on indigenous knowledge. So this is the balance, and I have absolutely no hesitation to accept that. Many institutions in Pakistan, and I've seen it in some part of Africa as well and South Asia as well, they are actually having a tremendous amount of challenge of doing that. So, my really deep appreciation what you people are doing, and really I see this kind of a very natural kind of a collaboration and partnership which can be evolved, and inshallah we're going to be taking it forward. So it's not only the manufacturers, it's actually manufacturers with a responsibility as well, because those who are actually erecting the large buildings, they also call themselves manufacturing actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Bilal sir. Inshallah, we'll be meeting next week with Faiz sir, and we'll take this relationship leaps and bounds ahead. Thank you very much. If nobody wants to ask any question, I may request PGD Iqbal Qureshi Saab.
Before that, Imran Saab, there are a number of messages I can see now, and especially Sama Tariq Saab has given some good ideas. So I would like all of them. I mean, let's get connected and let's move forward. And let us move beyond these messages. Because Pakistan needs you all. I would talk of Pakistan because we know our situation, we know our crisis, and but I also believe strongly that all this situation and crisis it's temporary, and solution lies in us. One point which Bilal Saab said, and I would agree with him. He hasn't said it openly. I would like to say that the situation which you're facing today in any area, it's because of our own selves. The biggest problem with us has been that we have never been professionals who could also take responsibility of society as well. We are not socially responsive professionals. That we have failed, and that is where we need to educate our young generation and ourselves also. I mean, today we are talking because we feel that something wrong has happened, but we can do it if we realize that yes, we are not just responsible for our professional responsibilities. We also need to be responsible for our social responsibilities as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request PGD Iqbal Qureshi Saab, Chairman, Rotary Pakistan Media Center, for closing remarks. Sir, I'd like to request you to enlighten us with your comments.
Well, thank you very much, Imran Saab. And it was really a great program. And I must appreciate and acknowledge all the participants, who has spent their Sunday for this particular cause. And when we say that seeing is believing, this is really seeing that you people can see that what the Rotary is going to do. And a great initiative which has been taken and started by Imran Ghaznavi Saab. It is really remarkable once again. As far as the speakers are concerned, when we heard from Dr. Shaheena becoming DG, and she seems to be a commando. It reminds my old days of army that she is more a commando than a really army officer as well. And we hope so that during her turnover, she will going to make something very, very extraordinary in our Pakistan. Dr. Bilal Saab, I can just say...
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Bilal Saab, I must say that you are a born Rotarian. You don't take this Rotary as a subject like this, but you are a born Rotarian, and we would like definitely to have join hand with you together. Last but not the least is our own RI Director, Faiz Kidwai. His life, which I'm observing since last 30 years, is something so remarkable that we can't say that one can be so good and so honest in his working. He has reached to the highest position of this in Rotary from Pakistan. is really remarkable, and we are expecting something very, very extraordinary works under his leadership
There's
coming.
some connection problem. The voice is breaking, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes, we can.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. I was talking about Faiz Kidwai Sahab, that he has done a really great job in Rotary, and we hope so that we are going to have something great in the coming time, particularly from this smart villages point of view and other things. And we hope that this type of subjects and this type of meetings will make the things much, much more easier and better for us to go ahead. Thank you all for this participation. Thank you, Imran sir.
Thank you. I believe Imran is out. He's not.
Sir, Imran will be joined. So in the meanwhile, people like to have anything else that can be done. We are at the end of the session as per our agenda.
I think Asif, you can take over and just wind up.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm back. Actually, there was a connection problem. Sorry. I think we need to close the session. Thank you very much, Mohammed Faiz Kidwai Sahab, Director, Rotary International, Bilal Anwar Sahab, PhD Iqbal Qureshi Sahab. I think there's some connection problem, and I think we have talked a lot. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a nice, good night's sleep. And don't forget to send us your feedback.
Thank you.
Well done.
Everybody.
Well done.
Sir.
Well done, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Shaheena. Thank you very much, Bilal Sahab. Thank you, Kashif. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramai.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I've also seen District Governor 371, Hanif Khan Sahab. We've also a lot of joined us from London. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, everybody. And inshallah, we'll see you next Sunday, 9 o'clock, for the session which is on goal setting. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.